here to give Cancer reads straight from the hip with lots of lip. And I'm going to be looking into the Venus-Jupiter conjunction and how it's going to be influencing your life, what it's going to be bringing into your life, what kind of experiences await you during this cycle that's going to be playing out throughout this month of March. We already had one meetup with Venus and Jupiter, and that occurred on the 2nd of this month. And we have two more coming up, one on the 22nd and the other on the 28th. And that's happening at a very pivotal time with the astrology because we, of course, have the start of spring with the vernal equinox taking place in the northern hemisphere. Okay. And that's going to be coming in on the 20th. Then on the 21st, we get the season off to a bang with a new moon in Aries, the initiator. So this is really when we're going to start to see our new chapters opening up in our lives. There's a closure and a new beginning happening at this time for all the signs, for everyone collectively. But this is something that's an interesting space to be in, this in-between space. I did pick up an initial message for you, Cancer, and that's that um, patience, you really need to have patience right now. Right now, Spirit is building you a bridge to get over some troubled waters. I feel like you're facing some tests. The tests lie in the area of loyalty. And this applies on multiple levels. It's about looking at the people in your life who you thought you knew or thought you understood what was going on between the two of you in your connection, that you're starting to have some questions about. You're looking at things from a different angle. You're not sure about the loyalty in the situation. You're having this happen in your social circle as well. You might be feeling this on the job. Um, this is something that's also happening within you, noticing ways that you're feeling pulled, noticing actions you feel compelled to take, noticing areas where you're having questioning. And this is causing you to ask yourself, where do my loyalties lie? All right. And if you're having those questions, sort of getting to the deeper roots of what is the motivation behind that? What is driving me to take an action that makes me even have to question my loyalty? Some of you are taking the stance of needing to be loyal to yourself, needing to be loyal to yourself, needing to pull loyalty back to certain people, places, and things that you feel have worked against you in some way. I got this piece about feeling like there's been some kind of injustice. There's something that you are not comfortable with. You're not okay with it. You want to see some kind of balance. You want to see some kind of vindication. I get there's a lot of like fire behind it. Like there's a lot of heat. You feel like something's really unfair. It's got you riled up. It's got you riled up a bit. I think it's something that's starting to really come to the surface for you. It's been there. It's been there. It's been brewing. It's been brewing for a while. You might have been able to numb it out at times, but you can't numb it out anymore. It's really at the surface level at this time. And I feel like there's this piece of patience. Don't act. Don't let the words fly out of your mouth right now. Be more of an observer. 4:44 on the clock when I said that. This is like some angel guidance coming in for you. And speaking of angels, I felt really compelled for your read today to pull out the angel deck, the angel tarot. And I only feel drawn to that at certain times when somebody's needing like an extra boost of support or um, where there's some kind of test happening that's also um, not just testing circumstances in life, but also being tested on your path. I feel like you're being presented with one of those junctures about the place inside of yourself that you choose to act from. It's really going to have a big influence on how this next chapter unfolds for you. So it's about being very mindful of your choices. It's about tempering the desire to just automatically act, because you feel a sense of injustice. It's about, you know, justice is blind. Justice is blind. Some people think that that means that things aren't seen, that there isn't going to be any kind of balancing of the scales, right? Some people think that, but this is like a message coming in that spirit sees everything, and it's about divine timing. It's not your timing, it's divine timing. It's not when you want to see the scales balance, it's when it's the appropriate time. It's when it's the appropriate time. And there's also time required for you to come to a certain awareness too in the situation. Something you're not seeing right now because you're reactive. There's something about this that really riles you. And that's the thing. Justice is blind. Justice is blind. Justice doesn't get riled. It's not the way it works. Justice is able to look at both sides very clearly, to hold both, to hold contradiction. Justice is the balancing point between contradiction. It's understanding that there's your view, there's my view, and then there's the truth, the justice that's somewhere in between. And so there's some piece of this needing to have patience. And I had something you could work with for that came in the download, and it involves working with like mandalas, coloring mandalas. You could get a coloring book of mandalas, or you can even download them online. There's something about this, about working with coloring mandalas when you are feeling that impulsiveness to just act because you're heated, you're feeling tested. There's a need to be able to focus your energy, but to be able to focus your energy in a way that's creative, that can kind of like clear the head and get the consciousness focused in a more productive direction than focusing on what isn't imbalanced yet. It's almost like the balance first has to come within you. And it's something about activating your creative process through working with this vision like focal point. It can be very beneficial. It takes time to color in a mandala. They're very intricate, right? So it gives you a break to just sort of like channel your energy in this way, be very beneficial for you at this time. And also it's a mandala. Okay, so it's going to open up certain things within you. And this is kind of a key too. You might notice when you're feeling really activated, where's this coming up in my body? Oh, I'm really feeling it in my heart. Okay, anahata, heart chakra. So you could look up, a mandala for anahata, and you can, print it out. Or you can, like I was saying, get yourself like a chakra coloring book, a mandala coloring book, something along these lines. There's some piece about this that will be very calming, very soothing for you. It'll just sort of temper the emotions. So, that makes sense. I mean, creativity is associated with that cups energy. It's associated with the cups. So that's all about creativity, and we're meant to move into the flow of creativity because we are coming upon the spring season, and that is the creative cycle in life when everything is born anew again. Okay, so there's a way that staying in that space of activation and letting that be the focal point, something that ties you to an injustice, which you feel is an injustice or something that's not fair. It keeps you kind of tied to that energy signature, and it keeps your energy held back from where it should be directed right now, which is just how you can bring about a new beginning for yourself. 10:33 on the clock. There's help, there's spiritual support for this. It's sort of like give over this need to um, see things balanced. Why take on that responsibility when life has a beautiful way of balancing things out on its own? Okay. I do feel like that piece is really coming forward, like justice is blind. Justice is blind. There's things that spirit sees in this situation that you don't yet see. And it's necessary to create that space. 11:11 on the clock. Okay. It's necessary to create that space because you'll understand why the timing was required, why it has taken so long, what needed to be brought into position for everything to sync up in the right way that leads to your new chapter. All right. You're not alone. There's help on your side, but you got to help yourself by practicing patience. I think that, meditation is always a wonderful way to cultivate patience, but if you're already feeling aggravated, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to sit and close the eyes and, turn the gaze upward toward the third eye and, just breathe it out. Okay. It can be very challenging, but if you're doing something where, it's first of all, it's a pleasure, and it kind of awakens a younger, more carefree side of yourself, coloring, right? It's something you used to do as a kid. Um, and it also taps you into your creative energy. And when we tap into our creative energy, we're able to see solutions, not just problems. Okay. So there's some piece about aligning with this productive energy that's really going to be supportive for you, right? Bottom of the deck energy, Four of Cups, Malaho, the god deflecting evil, healing capacity, protection from weapons, safety, and travel. Yeah. You're being protected in your transition from this situation you've been embroiled in this time in your life, the difficulties, your need to create boundaries and feel a sense of protection around you, support around you. It's like I was saying, the bridge is being built for you now. You're just required to be patient. You'll know when it's time to move forward, and you will know where your loyalties lie, and you will know where others' loyalties lie as well. And you will know where you should pour your loyalty, what you should be loyal to, what you should stand for at the end of the day. Okay. There's a lot of healing happening here. And that's how things are being aligned. When we act out of a sense of injustice, okay, and we don't have the whole picture, when we are blind to something that's very important in the situation, a pivotal piece of the puzzle, it can create a lot of damage. All right. This is like you're being tempered, you're being held back for a reason. It is to protect you from harm. It is to protect you from harm. Okay. And this could be the way that you could harm the situation further by acting in haste. There's something here about patience, just trust. There's a lot of healing that is going to happen here. There's a lot of healing coming in for you. All right. Just trust it. Just trust it. All right. Trust. It's not easy for anyone, especially when you feel there's been an injustice. Okay. But you're going to get movement here. You're going to see it come in. You got 8 of Wands, the great and exalted God. Grandeur makes one passionate toward God. Yeah, maybe you felt you don't have spiritual support. Maybe you're feeling disconnected spiritually. Maybe you've even kind of cut off your sources of spiritual support because you felt there's been such injustice in a particular situation, with a lack of fairness in some area of your life. I feel like you're going to really see that there is a divine play in life, that it is a mysterious, beautiful life. And once you allow the space for things to unfold, you're going to recognize that there's been a divine plan in play all along. You know, the gods laugh at our plans, all right? You got to kind of like open up your perspective and be willing be willing to accept that maybe you don't know it all, or you don't know what's right in this situation, and that you can only hold your peace about what are you loyal to. And that really comes down to like your core values. And that's very fitting because we are in this time of transmuting the energy of the Scorpio South Node, which deals with integrating our shadow, to rise up into that Taurus North Node and what we really stand on at the end of the day. So I think that you're being given some space in this situation, some breathing room. I got I got a buzzing in my ear right now. It is so intense. Like I feel like spirit's trying to talk to you too, and you haven't been willing to listen because you've been very upset. You know, you've been activated. So if you can kind of channel your energy and get it focused, you know, work with the mandalas like I was talking about, or you could even color, you know, maybe design mandalas of your own. Maybe it's just that act of doing something creative and letting that be like your focal point. um, it can be very helpful for you, right? Even if it's just scribbling on a page, maybe, okay, doodling, you know, allowing more space for just kind of creative exploration. Have a way for the thoughts to get out of your head and kind of tumble on the page so you can feel clear, and then maybe you can hear spirit because you got too much going on up here that's distracting you from your truth, your core value. What is it that you need to be loyal to? When you understand that piece, what you need to be loyal to, the rest takes care of itself, because then you know what you need to focus on and what you need to nurture and feed in your own life, on your own path. The rest comes into alignment from there. Okay. Um, let's dive into it. That's quite the opening download. Please do receive these readings with an open mind. I am speaking to a collective, so a lot of messages come in. Not everyone is going to be for you, all right? But respect the space and the people who may need to hear that message, all right? So just let's hold an open space here to creatively explore the energies together. Listen to your intuition. Let that be your guide as to how the energies are speaking to you, how the messages are relaying something of significance to you. Flip flop roles as you need to. I bring in the messages as they come in. Um, and, you know, all I can do is deliver the messages. Right. So if you feel like you need to flip flop genders or what side of the table you're on in this situation, or any of that, you know, cross watcher energy can come in. So it's up to you to really listen to how the message is speaking to you and trust that. All right. You're the authority in your own life. So you're gonna know how it's speaking to you. I can't decipher it for every single person, okay? Because that would just convolute the message. Okay. Um, yeah. And thank you to all of you for dropping in with me. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all of my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you've been dropping in, you've been digging what you're hearing. Uh, please consider subscribing. It's a beautiful energy exchange. It keeps the flow going. And it also allows other people to receive these messages because it gets the message out to more people. So I really do appreciate all of you who are supporting the channel and these messages getting out in this way, through your subscribes, through your shares, through your comments and interacting. I really do value you. It means a lot to me. Okay. All right, let's dive into it. So 2006, we're going to get into your read here, and we're just going to see what energies are coming in for you with this Venus Jupiter conjunction. All right. This is for all significant Cancer placements. So Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars. We're throwing in Saturn because of the astrology in play with Saturn entering Pisces. It is very significant. So if you have a Cancer, Saturn placement, you can drop in for this too. Anybody can drop in, really. Cross watchers are welcome. Or if you have a loaded fourth house, okay? So like a stellium, three or more planets in that fourth house, or one of the significant placements, like I mentioned. Uh, there's something that could be here for you. There's something that could be here for you if you're not a Cancer, right? And you're just feeling really drawn to it. Cancer is the mother archetype, so a lot of us are working with that energy coming into more of that feminine receptivity, after a time of really feeling like things were out of control just because of what has been happening on a global level, right? Ever since 2020, it's been pretty intense. And because of that, a lot of people moved more into that hyper masculine role of really like trying to control things, get things nailed down, get some semblance of control. And so it's difficult because we're needing to make this transition now where we're kind of like softening, opening, being more receptive, kind of letting life flow back in so we can receive. So a lot of people may be relating to the Cancer archetype right now because Cancer is mother, right? So let's look at this. Cancer, what is coming in for the Cancer collective with this Venus Jupiter conjunction? How is this going to influence the Cancer collective? What blessings will it bring into the Cancer collective's life? What opportunities will it bring their way? What's opening up for them right now? What do they need to see? What do they need to focus on during this cycle of the Venus Jupiter conjunction? What's coming in for the Cancer collective at this time? Spirit. Okay, we got something there. Being kind of sparing. It's like really wants to keep you focused. Okay, we got a crossing influence. So we know that you're at an important juncture, right? The next steps are pivotal. Anytime we have something coming up in a crossing influence like that, it means there's forces that are either working for you or against you. And it all depends on how you're aligning within yourself when you're dealing with any kind of potential oppositional energies. I do feel like you are dealing with some oppositional energies. I do feel like there are some blocks. There's some stuff that needs to be broken through. But you can only break on through to the other side first by doing that within. There's something inside of you that needs to experience this kind of like cracking open. I got. It's almost like you've been in this really contracted space. You've been on the defense. I feel there's some stance you're holding a really hard line on, but there's this need to kind of like really like let it all go and soften. And this might feel quite frightening. This might be why you're questioning loyalty around you quite a bit. Maybe you're having a difficult time trusting, in order to really open up and soften. We have to move into that space where we can, trust, where we can let go. And how do you cultivate trust? You cultivate trust within yourself. Okay, we can never control what other people will do, the choices they'll make, if they choose to take actions that will hurt us or any of these things. All we can do is cultivate our trust in ourselves and our ability to handle whatever comes our way, right? Because that's just life. Sometimes life is full of beautiful experiences and sometimes life is harsh, and it's just the way it is, and there's no way we can ever overcome that. Life is never going to be just a smooth easy ride all the time, but we do get to choose how we move through those experiences, and a lot of that has to do with cultivating trust within ourselves. Well, how do we cultivate trust in ourselves? By showing up for ourselves, you know by making sure that we're making our care a priority, that we're being aware of what we're feeling and what our needs are in the moment, and that we are addressing those needs, and that we're not looking for those needs to be met outside of ourselves. So I feel like there's a certain piece of this coming in for you that's an empowerment and you moving forward. I do feel like you're making a big decision though, and you're getting ready to step out of the crossroads, right? You may deal with some opposition in relation to this, but there's a bridge being built for you. That came in with the download. There's a bridge being built for you. It's going to get you over troubled water. So it's about really just like get yourself into this calm, centered space of readiness and clarity as you prepare to take this step. What's this about? Yeah, look, you're kind of like feeling like you're not in your strength. It's coming out in reverse, strength in reverse. This is Hakamiya, the raising God, loyalty. Oh, wow. Delivery from those who seek to oppress brings victory, right? It's in reverse. This can be associated with the sign of Leo. So I don't know if you are dealing with a Leo or if you may be um, born on the cusp. Okay, so you might kind of hold both energies, Cancer and Leo. I think maybe something has happened in a connection where you're really questioning the loyalty of this person. I also think there's something you're not completely seeing. With this hanging in the reverse like this is giving me sort of a hanged man vibe to it. Like there's a need to get a different perspective in this situation. Don't be so quick to jump to conclusions. I feel like there might be a little bit of like kind of mutual activation going on in this situation. For those of you who are born on the cusp, I feel like this is coming up within yourself. It's like you feel loyal to two different things, and this is making you feel really divided. But I feel like the two different things you feel loyal to are like outside of yourself. So it's like, let me get a kind of like a clear view about this. It's almost like you have loyalty to two different people. You feel equal loyalty to both people. You don't feel like you can choose a side. And so it's like this has you in a very conflicted space. You don't like being in this position. It feels very unfair. And the thing is that you're not seeing that there's another way. There's a third way, right? The truth is in between. Remember that there's your truth, my truth, and then there's something in between. What's in between? You are. You are. Okay. So this is about choosing you in the situation. I feel like being loyal to yourself. All right. So if you can ask yourself that, how can I be loyal to myself in this situation? That's going to make things a lot clearer for you. All right. Sit with that a little bit. Maybe do some mandala work around that, like coloring a mandala or, working with that creative flow, you know, just kind of holding space for that, see what emerges. Really interesting piece. I think you're tired too. I think you've been going through a lot of challenges with that strength in reverse like that. You're tired of being tested by people. You're tired of having your loyalty tested. I just got that. You're over it. You know, you feel like you've really had people's back for a long time and you're really sick of being challenged in this way. It feels like a real like slap in the face to you. It feels like a slap in the face to you because you've been so loyal to this other person. It's almost like, how dare you? You know? It's got that vibe. There's like a sense of indignity or something feels like undignified. Like I'm just picking up this vibe. Somebody feels insulted, disrespected in this situation. I also feel like you're tired of being the strong one. You're over it. You've had to do a lot of work on yourself. You've been doing a lot of healing work on yourself. You know, you're tired of having to make up for other people's stuff, where they're at, the fact that, they haven't taken the necessary steps to do the healing work that they need to do. You don't feel like it should be your responsibility. You don't want to carry this load anymore. It's weighed heavily on you. You're tired. You're tired. I picked this up. You feel like it's an injustice. I'm tired too. I need support too. I'm worn out too. I feel all this too, you know? Maybe that's where the choose you is coming from. Be loyal to yourself, you know? It feels heavy. And I feel emotional again. This happened last night. This happened with last night's reading. Felt emotional. There might be a Gemini in your picture somewhere. It's factoring in. Doesn't have to be, but it could also just be that Gemini energy. The lovers, the choice, you know, having to make a difficult choice. Choose you. Choose you. Choose growth. What's the path of growth? I always feel like that's the easiest solution when you're trying to make a really difficult choice at the crossroads. What direction offers growth? What direction offers growth? Forget about the external growth. I'm talking about growth inside of yourself. If I make this choice, I grow. I grow. I go the next level up. I conquer something that's held me back inside myself for too many years, maybe your whole life, you know? That's the choice to make. That's the choice to make. That's the empowering choice, you know? Um, Three of Cups, yeah. Heal. The right hand of God. Fame and renown influences commerce, voyages, and great discoveries. And Three of Cups is also healing, it's celebration. You know, I think that you've been held back in certain ways. I think you've been put on the back burner in certain ways in your situation. Well, others' needs, others' desires have taken center stage, you know? And I think it's about time for you to have the spotlight kind of put on yourself in your own life and what you need for fulfillment and happiness. I see you doing this. I think if you do this, it's almost like things that have blocked up the flow of your abundance and certain things you're wanting to manifest in your life for yourself totally free up. I see you get things moving forward. I see you get a brand new beginning. You know, it increases your finances, like your financial stability improves. You see an increase in your business projects, you know, things you're pouring energy into. I think it'll be a trip. I feel like it's a trip in the consciousness. It like blows your mind. You see yourself in a whole new way. You discover something about yourself that you never knew was there. Why? Because you've been so busy helping everybody else, supporting everybody else, helping them out through their, you know, healing process, you know, um, having it all be about what they need to feel fulfilled, you know, and kind of like toeing the line. It blows your mind how much you've held yourself back. And once you see it, it moves you forward. You don't stay in this crossroads anymore. You let others be responsible for their own growth, their own healing. And if they're on par with you and they're able to, you know, be there with you, you know, moving forward, stepping into that growth, beautiful. And if not, you got to keep going, man. You're on a journey. You're starting a new journey. I really feel that very strongly. Got Queen of Swords energy here. That's air sign energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, again, you might have a Gemini is factoring into your situation in some way just for that to come in again. Queen of Swords, Hamia, God, the hope of all the earth. Ritual and ceremony can acquire all the treasures of heaven and earth. I feel like you need to connect with spirit. I feel like this is important. Now, not everybody has like a deity view of spirit. All right. So if you're somebody who um, doesn't connect on that level, it doesn't deny the need for spirit, you know, to come in. Spirit is to inspire, right? Spirit is to inspire. It's about activating a higher part of your consciousness, a new level of your awareness that allows something to come in for you. allows something to come in for you. So what brings you into those states where you can move into mind expansion? How do you create that? Ritual is a wonderful way to do that. I feel like something as simple as maybe getting a candle vigil going where you can, light your candle and focus on the flame and just ask for your mind to be illuminated. Ask for that blind spot to be removed. Remember, justice is blind. Like there's this piece about you not seeing something. There's something you're not seeing here. There's something you're not recognizing here. And ask for support, you know, ask for support. Ask for support from whatever connects you to source, whatever connects you to your own personal sense of spirituality. This is about feeding spirit a little bit, maybe making some offerings to spirit. Maybe you feel support from your ancestors, from your bloodline, okay. Make some offerings to your ancestors, connect with their energy, ask for their support, ask for their sustenance. It'll help you in moving forward. I also feel like, there's certain things that you need to cut off, and maybe it requires a lot of strength on your part to cut these things off. This can be anything from a relationship that is not doing you any good, maybe is even unhealthy, could be potentially abusive on some level for some of you. This could be a habit you have, this could be an addiction, this could be anything that is keeping you in this space of not cutting off what is keeping you from stepping into your true fulfillment. You know, I feel like you're meant to take yourself off that back burner right now. I feel that really strongly. You got wish fulfillment coming in for you. Okay. 9 of Cups. Abuhia, God, the kindest giver. Healing preserves health and cures diseases. Okay. So again, it's kind of like talking about cutting off something that doesn't serve. Maybe there's a behavior or a relationship that is actually negatively impacting your health, or an addiction that is negatively impacting your health, not just your physical health, but your emotional health, your mental health. And when you're affected in that way, it also translates into your outer reality. It affects the health of your finances. It affects the health of your social connections. It affects the health of your home. It's true. It's all a template, you know? And that's also that piece about bringing ritual in when you can connect to your source within, your own source of power that is spirit, that is deity, that is your higher consciousness, awareness, whatever you see it as, however you connect with that. We all know that, you know, even those who have no connection to spirit, you know, in their minds, they have no connection to spirit. They still have that one energy that runs through all, running through them. We all got that. And that's science, man. That's undeniable, right? That's atoms, positive, negative, neutral energy. It's running through all of us. We're all made through the same channels of the same stuff. We're just taking different forms, all right? So, whatever builds that within you, whatever inspires that within you, what is inspirational, what does it mean to inspire? It actually means to breathe in. That's the archaic meaning of inspire. It means to breathe in the prana, the life-giving force. Okay, this is about breathing in life again, like taking in life again. You may have been waiting to exhale. I got this like feeling of like holding the breath. Maybe you've been breathing shallow. You might benefit from some kind of like lung clearing out. There's different ways you can do that. Cardio is great. It's the energy moving. You could even dance, move creatively. It doesn't have to be like some boring workout. Um, Getting on a hike is great cardio too. Brings you out into the flow of nature. It helps you get breathing room, clears the air, right? There's some piece of this. You can do steam inhalations. boil up some water, pour it in a nice big like mixing bowl. You know, you can add some fresh rosemary in there. Rosemary is very protective, makes it safe for you to expand into the love, into the openness and softness in your heart too. It's like strong and gentle at the same time. It's temporary. You can just like put a towel over your head and just breathe in, take some real deep breaths, working with breath a little bit. Okay. Will really help you with this, whatever this is that you're letting go of. It can help with that. You might need to get like some old breath out of your lungs. You might have some like congested stuff there that can help facilitate this process. It's like there's something you need to clear out and release so you can really open up to this wish fulfillment of what wants to come in for you. What is the wish fulfillment? It's the 2 of Cups. It's a soulmate union. You know, it's love. It's reciprocal love. Luia, the swiftly hearkening God. Fruition provides expansive intelligence and gives the grace of God, right? So this is really about bringing the energy into yourself and getting yourself ready to receive this love, getting ready to receive that balance, getting ready to receive that place of being met. But first, it requires you get met, you know, within yourself. You got to meet yourself and you got to meet your own needs, right? You got to meet your needs. So important. Let's see the top of the deck energy here. 6 of Swords, Aniel, the gentle God. Perception of unity protects against accidents, heals the sick. There's a lot that is being healed in a connection. That's what I get. But I feel like what's been a problem in the past in this connection that is, you know, you're trying to heal is there's so much enmeshment going on. It's complicated. It also may be a situation where there's multiple people involved and this convolutes matters even further. We see that you've been like challenging, you know, loyalty. You've been wondering who you can trust. So I feel like there's more than just even one other person on the other side of the table. Maybe there's many connections here. Maybe there's something to unravel. I just heard Ball of Confusion, you know, that Temptation song. It's just all like, or Love and Rockets. I really like the Love and Rockets version myself, but they're both good. But I really love the Love and Rockets version. There might be some kind of connection there with the Love and Rockets. I don't know. Maybe you're dealing with somebody who's a fan of Love and Rockets. But there's this piece about, you know, right now it's just this tension point, right? Because there's so much going on here and no idea how do we untangle this. Untangle yourself. Untangle yourself, you know, free yourself first, right? Like untangle your own emotions in the situation and then untangle yourself from the situation as get detached. Okay. Detached means that you're getting some space so you can see things different. All right. And you're also detaching from outcomes, expectations. You're allowing each person in the situation to also do this untangling within themselves and get this detachment that can provide a sense of reflection and seeing something that wasn't able to be seen before. I just got maybe how much it really means to everybody involved. Huh. How much it actually really means to everybody involved. Maybe that's something that isn't being looked at. It's like, what is the commonality here? Instead of looking at the differences, what brings the perception of unity? What brings the perception of unity? Oh, this all really matters to all of us in this situation, even though we see it different. Even though what matters to each of us is different, you know, we all are invested in this situation because it matters, and that's why there's so much tension and holding patterns. You know, we've been looking at how it matters is different, and this is the bone of contention. Well, how about just starting with this point of it matters and see what happens there, opening up this perspective. You know, there's something that's been unhealthy in the dynamic here, and it's being healed. And some of you are actually, I feel, have been dealing with a long healing process with a particular health issue. I feel like somebody's been battling cancer. I'm getting this coming in. I mean, it's your sign, Cancer, you know. I don't know, Cancer. Did you get a diagnosis? Did somebody get a diagnosis? Maybe you feel like it's an injustice because you've already been through so much. Maybe you've been afraid, you've been scared. I think this is the time to realize that you need support. That may just be speaking to one person, but I feel like it's important to bring it in. Um, it's time to let yourself receive support, you know. Maybe it's okay to be soft and say, I'm scared. I'm scared. Or you could have dealt with somebody very close to you that struggled with cancer. You know, for those of you who have received, you know, a diagnosis and it's something that you're struggling with, let the support in. Um, there's something that you're going to heal emotionally through this process, but I see that it looks like you're protected, you know, heals the sick. There's a lot of messages about healing here, a lot of messages of being supported, that you're going to have a bridge built over this troubled passage you're going through, that you have support here. There's love here, you know, there's somebody that's here for you. There's also wish fulfillment, you know. So I think that you have every reason to feel hopeful of overcoming this. Just let the support in. And for those of you who have been um, healing from the loss of a loved one to cancer, I feel like you're getting to the place where you're finally like you're getting to the other side of that, where you know, you've made peace. You've made peace with the loss within yourself, and you're going through the other side of that. Like there's stages of grief, right? I feel like you're getting to the other side. You're getting to the other side. You're finally feeling some healing within yourself, and maybe this loss also highlighted certain things you needed to heal inside of yourself. It's what inspired your healing process. It looks like there's this place of moving away. You know, you're moving away from these troubles, and you're going to find, instead of what was dividing being the focal point in your life, you're moving to a time of coming together. This is about moving away from what has created separation or distance or misunderstanding or heartache, and coming to a place of unity and healing. And it's absolutely happening on the physical level too. I'm really picking that up for you all. You're healing something emotionally, you're healing something on the spiritual level, and it's also manifesting in your physical body. And it's all intimately connected. It always is, okay? Yeah, right on the bottom of the deck again. Eight of Cups, AEL. God, the pleasure of man's children. Transformation gives consolation in adversity. I love it. It's like Spirit saying, don't worry. I got you. I got you. You're going to get to the other side. You may not feel strong right now, but you are being held and you have so much support around you. Let it in, soften, trust. Please be patient. Be patient. Everything is being lined up for you. You know, and I think feeding your connection with source, again, that's going to give you that feeling of being held during this time that you're like in the waiting room. That's what it is, you know. uh, that time being in the waiting room, that pregnant pause, you know, it can be pretty intense, right? But you look, you got the sun coming out though. I love this. This is so beautiful because strength came in, which was a Leo card, and the sun is the other Leo card. So some of you out there must be dealing with a Leo, or a Leo may be factoring strongly into your situation, or like I said before, this could be coming in very strongly for the Pespers out there. But this is things turning around, okay? This is the sun coming through maybe a time when you've really been in a period of darkness, or it's been very troubled or uncertain. This is also the light turning on in the room, getting a real, read of the room, understanding what's really going on here. Also, the light awakening in you, coming out of a time of depression and heaviness, and finally feeling like, all right, I'm ready to come to life again. I'm ready to step into my life again. And also with health, the sun is vitality. It's energy, it's vigor, it's really just feeling your best. So if you've been dealing with a health challenge, or you have a loved one that's, been battling something, and it's been a hardship, it's been rough, it's been painful, it's been a grieving process, even as you were holding space for this, maybe it also required you to caregive a bit, and you had to put yourself on the back burner to do what was right. This is a reprieve, it's like the health returning, it's restoration of life, protection from adversaries, rabies, and wild beasts too. Okay, well, be careful if you're going really off the beaten path. Okay. Maybe you did head in some wild terrain, maybe you took a walk on the wild side, maybe you weren't sure if you would come out of it unscathed. I think you're getting through the other side. Maybe you felt a little bit like you got the rabies, some beast bit you, and it had you foaming at the mouth for a while. I see you getting to the other side of that, though. Look at that, the sun. That's just such beautiful energy. Okay, beautiful positive energy. Let's do a kind of a deck here. This is interesting. Why is this upright? Oh, Three of Swords. Huh. How did that happen? That's very interesting that both sides were upright. Okay. Three of Swords, Rahiel, the quickly forgiving God, love and submission, cures illness, influences paternal love, gives long life. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. This is why I love working with the angels. Three of Swords, after a time of grief, after a time of a heartache, after a time of loss, after a time of celebration. This is so beautiful. Look at this. This is a healing. This is a healing, but it requires you to let go and trust and be patient and not push the river. Trust in divine timing. All right. Let me just get one card here as a clarification. I'm going to work with this Halloween oracle because it feels like you're kind of like stepping out of the shadow into the light. So I just want to give you something that can give you a little support as you're in this liminal space between the shadow and stepping into the light. The pregnant pause, that's what I like to call it. It's a pregnant pause. It's like right before the Empress enters the delivery room and births new life, births a new direction. It's a moment of reverence. Ooh, I got chills. Maybe you need to mark this, Maybe that's where your ritual should come in too. Just be aware of what a beautiful, potent, rich time this is. The point before the transformation is actually evident. The point before what has shifted within manifests without is such a beautiful time. The most important moment in any initiation is the one before you say yes and walk through that door. All right, give me one spirit for Cancer collective. What is the one takeaway? Okay, it's in reverse. Skull of flowers creating through the ashes. And you had a lot of messages about reconciliation. I mean, this came in reverse. So I feel like this is about honoring the passage you've been through. For those of you who did lose a loved one to a battle with Cancer. I feel like this is also like you're creating something that maybe commemorates your loved one. There's something beautiful that you're creating to celebrate their life. Um, there's some kind of celebration of their life. It's something you're creating. There's something cathartic about that that brings a lot of healing for you. There may be something you carry forward from that. I can see this, especially in the area of Cancer, maybe wanting to form some kind of foundation, or maybe you're going to participate in some kind of event, like some kind of race or, something like that, that allows you to raise funds, do fundraising, something like this. I feel like there's something you're bringing forward. Some of you are writing a book about your experience that can support others who had to go down a similar road or in a similar process. And some of you have been called to be death doulas. You want to provide this experience for others who are helping to support others as they're moving through this kind of a transition. You feel really called to this work. It's very powerful. It's very transformational. To make this a sacred time, a reverent time, these transitionary periods is such a beautiful medicine to pass on. So, to give reverence in that rite of passage. So some of you are having this experience coming in very strongly for a reason. And some of you have already been initiated through death's doorway, through losing someone that you love very deeply, some kind of battle, health battle. But there's something beautiful that you're bringing about through that. And for others of you, this is speaking of you finally giving acknowledgement to the loss, to the pain, to the grief, allowing yourself to tap into your creative energy again, and you're creating something new. And for some of you, this is going back. It's like going back to the past and experiencing healing with the past and creating something new together through those ashes that rise up in a new form. You know, ashes can be used in compost and helps new things come to bloom. So look for something to become rooted. It was a seed. I feel like it was a seed that was planted in the past long ago. It's all going to start to come into bloom for you now.